Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Michael Mastro. Today we're going to look at the chart of Olivia Newton-John. May she rest in peace. If you look to the eastern horizon when she was born, you will see the constellation associated with Leo rising at 27 degrees. The time given is 6 a.m. They rectified it a few minutes to 5:48 a.m. What we want to look at is how the planets are operating and when they're operating at different points in their life and what we could do to rectify the chart. First of all, wherever the Multicona signs fall, which are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11, indicate what she's working on in this lifetime. So we have the first sign of Aries in the 9th house. So this brings her good fortune. Then the fourth sign of Cancer, ruled by Moon, in the 12th house. And Moon becomes functional malefic for this chart. So any Multicona signs that fall in the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th become functional malefic, along with Rahu and Ketu. So that means that Moon can cause some issues. It's fairly benign in the birth chart, but whenever it gets within 5-degree orb of another planet through conjunction or aspect, either in the transit chart, then it can cause some issues. So that 12th house gives her the ability to separate from who she is to play these different roles in acting and singing in front of the public. Fifth sign of Leo, ruled by Sun, is in the 1st house. This gives her great leadership ability in taking on leading roles in acting and singing, a lot of self-esteem, to have the spotlight of the sun on her. The 6th sign of Virgo is in the 2nd house. It's ruled by Mercury, gives her great fame and wealth, but also there can be issues in marriage. She was married a couple times. The 7th sign of Libra, ruled by Venus, is ruling the 3rd house. 3rd house has to do with performing arts, singing, acting. Then we have the 9th sign of Sagittarius in the 5th house of entertainment, ruled by Jupiter, and the 11th sign of Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, in the partnership house, which gives her connections to get her acting and singing roles. So let's look and see how each of the individual planets are operating. First of all, we have the Sun at rising at 9 degrees in the 1st house, and its dispositor, it's sitting in the 2nd house, and its dispositor Mercury is weak because its final dispositor Venus, is weak. So the Sun is the prime indicator for health in her chart. Any Multicona sign in the 1st or the 6th, and there's none in the 6th, so Sun becomes her indicator for health and immunity, vitality, and it's somewhat weak, even though it gives her these great leadership roles in acting and singing. It does affect her eventual longevity. Then we have functional malefic Moon. It again gives that ability to separate and take on different roles, performing for the public. It is afflicted by K2 causing metastatic breast cancer, which spread beyond the lymph. It has an autoimmune aspect to it. It became a chronic condition for her because of that K2 affliction. K2 acts like Mars, creating an inflammation. The weak dispositor, Mars, because of its dispositor becoming weak again, Venus, that final dispositor, gives good fortune through performing, but also causes some inflammation. And then again, Mercury is weak because its final dispositor, Venus, is weak, and it gives wealth through performance, public performance, but also there's some instability in the marriage. So wealth and fame through performing, but some instability in the marriage. Then we have weak old age Jupiter at 28 degrees, close to the most effective, close to the rising sign degree of 27 degrees. So it has a lot of impact, gives her these entertainment abilities. It's ruling that fifth house of entertainment. Her one of the most well-known signs is "Let's Get Physical," and it represents Jupiter. So there's some weakness with the husband, married a couple times, and also it is sitting in the fourth house that represent breast, and she did have that breast cancer. Weak, pearly placed Venus, placed in the 12th house of surgery and autoimmune issues, immune issues. Venus representing hormones and estrogen that got causing, the weak sun to separate. It's because it's the final dispositor. It caused many planets to become weak, including Sun, and it gives her that ability to take on different roles. But also, Venus sitting in the house of surgery and immune issues definitely affected her estrogen and hormones related to breast cancer. The weak dispositor again for Saturn sitting in the first house. Sun became weak because of its final dispositor, Venus. So again, Saturn is weak, afflicted by Rahu, gives lower back cancer, eventual Rahu. But it did also Saturn is service, so she was very active in plant-based medicine for cancer. Rahu and Ketu at 12 degrees. Rahu is tumor and cancer. Ketu is inflammation. Those definitely took an active role in her illness, chronic illness of cancer, breast cancer, which spread. So let's take a look at the timing of events. So she became famous for the movie Grease, the musical Grease, got Grammys for that in a Mercury period, Mercury bringing wealth and fame. In 91, she had a clothing store in LA that went bankrupt, and also was diagnosed with breast cancer and had a mastectomy surgery, all during a moon period, which causes losses and surgery. Then we have in 2005, her boyfriend Patrick went missing, also during a moon period, loss, indicating loss there. Then in 95, she got a divorce during a Jupiter period, Jupiter representing husband. Remember, it's weak. In 2013, the cancer returned. It became metastatic breast cancer, spreading beyond her lymph nodes to her shoulder during a Saturn period. Saturn represents bones, and then also in 2017, spread to her back during a Sun period. Sun is indicator for her overall health, prime indicator for overall health and vitality. And in 2022, she died. during an approaching sun period. It was actually Rahu, but approaching sun. And Rahu afflicts, if you look at the transit circular chart on the left, the inner circle is where the planets were when she was born, just like the one on the right, only in a circular form. And the outer circle has to do with where the planets were when she passed away. You can see that the fifth aspect of Rahu is afflicting the body, the first house, also the longevity. Um, so, what could be done to strengthen this chart? Well, we can. Um, we want to transform Rahu, Ketu, and Moon. We don't want to strengthen malefics. Helping women would be good for Moon, and helping those who cannot help themselves, good for Rahu. And then K2 would be helping spiritual organizations. So she was doing all these things. She's definitely helping uh, uh, animals, a lot of donation to animal charities, which would involve K2 as well. And then Rahu and Moon, the cancer research involving the plant-based materials, etc. And Moon is, breast cancer. Then we want to strengthen the rest of the planets with either the gemstones or my favorite remedy called the Kavash, which is a protective shield, a locket, silver locket containing the Devata yantras for the rest of the planets that need strengthening, which is Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Sun, Saturn, and Venus. And you can see them on our website at vastucreations.com, where you can also order under services, a astrology reading yearly, etc. And if you want to take astrology course and become certified or not, we also have under courses Vedic astrology and Vedic medical astrology. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.